Hi, I'm Danie Mellas, Senior Associate at Nichols Family Lawyers, and today I'll be taking you through binding financial agreements. Binding financial agreements, also known as prenuptial agreements, are legally binding agreements that specify what will happen to a couple's property and finances in the event of a separation. A binding financial agreement can deal with most of or all of the parties' assets as well as spousal maintenance, which involves the provision of financial support from one spouse or de facto partner to their former partner following the breakdown of a marriage or a relationship. When drafted correctly, they prevent the parties from having the court get involved in property proceedings and stop parties from making applications for property orders. Although they are most commonly entered into by parties prior to or at the commencement of their relationship, they can also be entered into during and even at the end of a relationship and even after a divorce. They are available to all married and de facto couples. A binding financial agreement must be in writing and signed by both parties. However, prior to entering into a binding financial agreement, each party must receive an independent letter of legal advice regarding the effects of the agreement on their rights, as well as the advantages and disadvantages of entering into the agreement. Additionally, each party must be given a signed statement from their legal practitioner confirming that the required advice was provided to them. Each party or their lawyer must also receive a copy of the signed statement from the other party's lawyer, and the agreement must not have been terminated or set aside by the court. A binding financial agreement are also commonly used to protect assets. They can help to ensure children from a previous relationship are properly provided for, safeguard specific assets such as businesses or other companies, acknowledge one partner's greater financial or property contributions, reduce the risk of financial disputes if a relationship breaks down, avoid costly, lengthy and stressful court proceedings, and also to protect future assets like anticipated inheritances. It is important to remember that financial agreements can be overturned in certain circumstances, such as if there's fraud or failure to disclose their true value of an asset. For example, that's why it is important that both parties provide to the other and exchange financial disclosure documents and all other documents in their possession. Take, for example, the 2017 case of Thorne and Kennedy, which involved a separated couple and the wife seeking to set aside their financial agreement on the basis that she had signed the agreement in circumstances where there was undue influence and unconscionable conduct. Miss Thorne travelled to Australia to marry Mr. Kennedy. She had no substantial assets, whilst Mr. Kennedy was a property developer worth approximately $24 million. Mr. Kennedy had told Miss Thorne that if she did not sign the financial agreement prior to their wedding, that he would not marry her. After the couple had married, they executed a second financial agreement under which Miss Thorne was only entitled to $50,000 in the event that they separated. The couple divorced 4 years later. Miss Thorne sought to set aside the financial agreement on the basis that she had been under immense pressure to sign the documents due to them being a condition of their marriage, and the fact that she had permanently left her country of origin to live in Australia on a limited visa and was financially and emotionally dependent on Mr. Kennedy. Although Miss Thorne had received legal advice advising against her entering into the financial agreement, the court found that Mr. Kennedy had acted unreasonably and Miss Thorne had been powerless because she believed she had no other choice but to agree, and that's why the financial agreement was set aside. Because there are strict requirements around creating a valid binding financial agreement, it's important to get the right legal advice and to also ensure that the agreement is drafted properly. At Nichols Family Lawyers, we're here to support you every step of the way, offering clear guidance and trusted expertise.